So, hello students. Now, I'm writing here some of the properties of sequence and series, which we are going to use to solve the problems. Now, as from my earlier classes, you know that capital A is the arithmetic mean between two numbers A and B, and that is A plus B by 2. This is single AM. Capital G is the geometric mean between two numbers A and B, and that is root of AB. That is single GM, geometric mean. And capital H is 2AB upon A plus B, and that is known as single HM, harmonic mean. Now, first property is that arithmetic mean is always greater than equal to geometric, and that is greater than equal to harmonic mean. That means if you have to find arithmetic mean between two numbers, suppose those two numbers are 2 and 6, then you get AM. Similarly, you get GM of 2 and 6, and similarly you get HM of 2. Then in that case, arithmetic mean is strictly greater than geometric mean, and that is strictly greater than harmonic mean. But here equality sign is also written. That is for when a sequence is constant sequence. In that case, that means 2, 2, 2, 2, and so on. In that case, AM will be 2, GM will be root AB, that is again 2, and HM is 2 into A into B upon A plus B, that is again 2. So in that case, A is equal to G is equal to H, otherwise A is always greater than G and G is greater than H. So this is first property of AGH. Now second property is that G square is equal to AH. You can check that when you square this, then this will comes out to be AB, and when you multiply these two, again you get AB. So this is what relation between G, A and H. That means what type of question you get? That means they will give you arithmetic and geometric mean, and you have to find harmonic mean. So this is the equation which relates all these three. Putting the values of A and G here, you can get H. So this is how we find out. No matter they have not given us A and B, values of A and B, but they have given us the values of geometric and arithmetic mean. So using this equation, you can find out the harmonic mean. Now next type is if we take A and B two roots of quadratic equation. Now what I have written A plus B, in that case that single A is inserted between A and B, and these three will form AP. Single G is inserted between A and B, and these three are in GP. And single H, capital H, is inserted between A and B, and these are in GP. And these are what A and B. So if these numbers A and B are the roots of quadratic equation, we can find out quadratic equation by using this, that quadratic equation is x square minus sx plus b equal to 0, where s is sum of the roots, and from here what I get, s is 2a, p is product of the root, that is ab, and from this equation I get that b equal to g square. So now my quadratic equation comes out to be x square minus 2ax plus g square. Okay, now this is how we can obtain quadratic equation if they have given us the values of arithmetic and geometric means. That means what type of question you get here? That means suppose they have given you a equal to 6 and g suppose 2, and you have to find the quadratic equation. So you can just put the value of a here and g here. So this is what quadratic expression in A and G is example only. Okay, now this is how you can find out. That means if A and G given to us, values of arithmetic and geometric mean given, using these you can find out the quadratic equation in terms of capital A and capital G. Next type of question is they will give you A and H. and you have to make quadratic in terms of a and h. So that would be, just replace this g square by ah. So now my quadratic equation comes out to be, so this quadratic is in terms of a and h. Now next, we made this quadratic by taking a and b its roots. So when I solve this quadratic, then I'll get the roots, and those roots will be a and b. So if this is your quadratic equation, and you have to find out the roots, and we know that if this is the quadratic equation, then formula for root is x equal to minus b plus minus root of b square minus 4ac upon 2a. So from here, roots are minus b plus minus root of b square minus 4ac. Further solving, if I take 4 common from here, then we get 2 because there is root, and from afterwards, when we take 2 common, then we get this. So these are two roots. One is with plus sign, another with minus sign, and these two will be a and b, because we obtained this equation by taking a and b as roots. So when we solve, then those two roots are a and b. But one more thing you have to be careful about, that if they have written in the question that this sequence is of positive real numbers, I mean given sequence is of positive real numbers, or instead of that, if they have given us that this is an increasing sequence, that means values are in ascending order, terms are in ascending order. In that case, a comes before b, as you have written here, that as we have written here, that capital A is inserted between a and b, and a comes before b. That means a is smaller than b if that sequence is in increasing order. Therefore, the root which we solved by using minus sign will be a, and which I solved by putting plus sign will be b. So you have to be careful about that. If the sequence is of positive real numbers is written, or if the sequence is an increasing sequence is written, in that case a is smaller than b. So what type of question we get from, what type of question we can solve by using this property, that if they have given us the values of a and g, and you have to find the values of a and b. So using this, we can find out. Okay, I think it's clear to all of you. Similarly, quadratic in terms of a and h is this. And when I solve this, that means I have to just replace this g square by ah. When I solve this, then my roots will be these. So one of them will be a and another will be b. So what type of question we get, that a and h are given to us, and what we have to find out, a and b I have to find. Okay, so now I'm solving the question using these properties. So these are my questions. If the ratio of am between two positive real numbers a and b to their hm is m is to n, then a is to b is. So these are your options. Now, what is given in the question? Read this question carefully. If the ratio of AM between two real numbers, positive real numbers, mark this. What they have written, positive real numbers. Okay. A and B, to their HM is M is to N, and what you have to find out, A is to B. That means they have given us A upon H is M upon N. This is given to us. And what we have to find out, A upon B from the options. As you all know, if they have given us ratio and we have to find out the ratio, then in that case you can equate. Otherwise you have to equate this by multiplying a constant with M. A is equal to Km or H is equal to Kn. But if ratios are given and ratio is to find out, if ratio is given and ratio is to find out, in that case you can directly equate. So A is here M and H is here N. And what you have to find out, A and B. That means A and H are given to us and we have to find out A and B. And what relation we use? We know that in terms of A and H, this is the formula to find out roots. One of them will be A and another will be B. Now I am putting A is equal to M and H is equal to N here. So what I get from here? Okay. Now please be careful. Positive real numbers are written here. So that means A upon B, that means A is of minus sign and B we get from plus sign. So what I do here, I take this in numerator and the relation with plus sign in denominator. I think it's clear. Now what I do, I take M common from this root. So what I get, root M common. And from here again I can take root M common. So this comes out to be, I take M common from here. Similarly, same, we take root M common in denominator also. So this will be my answer. Answer is fourth option. Look here, if I do mistake here, I take A with positive sign and B with negative sign, that option is also present here. So please be careful that two positive real numbers are written. Therefore, in that case, I have to use minus for A and plus for B. I think this question is clear to all of you. Now my next question is of very important type. As you all know that if these are n positive numbers and you have to find single AM, that means average value of these n number, then average or mean is sum of the observation upon number of observation. And already I told you that for GP you have to just interchange the plus sign with multiplication, minus by division, and coefficient goes in power. So when I use that, then this comes out to be A1 into A2 into AN, and this is what the coefficient, so this goes in power. So this is single GM. And as you all know that HM can be obtained by reciprocating the terms. So from there I get, this is the single HM. I have already explained this in previous lectures. This will be HM of these n numbers. So instead of that, if you have these three numbers, then their single HM, or that can be denoted by capital A, will be A plus B plus C by 3. Single GM will be A into B into C to the power 1 by 3. And single HM of these three numbers will be 3 upon 1 by A plus 1 by B plus 1 by C. So now I'm using first property. If my question is of to find out the maximum or minimum value, or if you have greater than or less than sign in the option. So in that case, that question is of this first property, that A is greater than G greater than H. So now what type of question you get? If they will say the values A, B, C are positive, therefore now you have to conclude that this question is of AGH. That is the first relation, that A is greater than G greater than H, or greater than equal to G greater than equal to H, because you have a sign of greater than in all the four options. Now look how we do this. If A, B, C are positive real numbers, then as we all know, single arithmetic mean of these three real numbers is the average value. That is A plus B plus C by 3. And from the question, I can conclude that whether I have to find GM or HM. From here, I can conclude that there is a use of harmonic mean in this question. So HM of three numbers is 3 upon 1 by A plus 1 by B, 1 by C. Now what I have to do, I have to use this relation. And in this case, I use that if A is greater than G, G is greater than, then A is greater than H. Now what I am doing, I write A here, A plus B plus C by 3. I write H here, 3 1 by A plus 1 by P plus 1 by C. And what I do, I put this sign here. Now what we do, take this to this side and this to this side. Now what is your answer? 3 into 3, 9. So my answer is fourth option. Okay, this is how we use the property A greater than G greater than H. Now we'll practice few more questions of this type. Hello. If they say that X, Y, Z are positive real numbers, sorry, you can say that X, Y, Z are real numbers, such that X plus Y plus Z is equal to 1, and you have to find 1 minus X into 1 minus Y into 1 minus Z, and your options are now look. Again, there is a sign of greater than in all the four options. So that means we can conclude that this question is of that relation, that A is greater than G greater than H. Okay. Now, what we get from here, what is given to us? That X plus Y plus Z is equal to 1. So, Y plus Z is equal to 1 minus X. And we have to find the value of 1 minus X here. That means what we conclude, that 1 minus X comes to be the sum of two numbers Y and Z. If 1 minus X is sum of two numbers, and we take these be two numbers, okay, and we all know that arithmetic mean of these two numbers will be this, and geometric mean or harmonic, which we have to use, we can check that by just having a look on the options. all the options are in x into y into z. That means in this particular question we have to use G, because in geometric mean we get the product. So now what I'm doing, geometric mean of these two number yz is root yz, and what relation we have from here, greater than. From here what I get, y plus z is greater than 2 root yz, and y plus z is what, 1 minus x. Okay, so now from here we are done with the question. If we have to repeat this step again and again, that is what, that 1 minus y will be x plus z, and this is sum of two numbers are now x plus z, and their am is x plus z by 2 and their gm is root of xz, and what I am getting from here, that is this relation. What next? 1 minus z is x plus y. Again, this is sum of two number. Mean of those two numbers is x plus y by 2 and their gm is root xy. So, why to repeat again and again? And now look at the question. We have to find the product of these three equations. So, if you are multiplying left hand side, you have to multiply right hand side. Now, what I get from here? That this is equal to 2 into 2 into 2, 8, and root x into root x is x, root y into root y is y, root z in, so answer is first option. So this is how we do this. A few more questions. Now look at this question. If they have given us x square plus 1 upon x square is a, and b is x minus 1 by x, where x belongs to R, then the minimum value of a by b. The first option is 2 root 2, root 2, 1 by 2, and 2. Okay. Now look. What is given to us? That a is x square plus 1 by x square, and b is x minus 1 by x. Now I have to relate these two, and how I can relate these a and b in our equation, this is how we can write. You can check it. When you square both the sides of this equation, you get x square plus 1 by x square minus 2x into, and when I add plus 2 in this, I'll get a. So this is what the relation between a and b. But what I have to find out, that is a by b. So divide both the sides by b. So this comes out to be b plus 2 by b. Okay. Now, what is this? This is sum of two numbers. One of them is b, another is 2 by b. And if we consider these two as two numbers, then their arithmetic mean is x plus y by 2. And their geometric mean, because when I take product of these two, b gets cancelled out and we get our answer in numbers. So gm is root of xy. What we do, we put this sign here, and then this comes out to be, when this goes here, this comes out to be 2 root 2. That means my a by b is b plus 2 by b, and that is greater than 2 root 2. Therefore my answer is this part. Okay. Now few more important results, and you have to learn those results because we are going to use in few more chapters also. That is very important result of tan and cot. First result is, in case of tan, when one of the angle is sum of other two. That means if I write this, it's the relation. When one of the angle is sum of other two, 3a is equal to 2a plus a. Then in that case, tan of their differences, that means tan 3a minus tan 2a minus tan a is what? Product of their tans. This is very important result and you have to learn this. What is that? Whenever one of the sum is, whenever one of the angle is sum of other two, then in that case tan of their differences is equal to tan of their product. And if you know the result of tan, you can obtain the result of cot. How? Just divide this equation by this. So when I divide this above equation by this on both the sides, then what I get, tan 3 gets cancelled out by tan 3, and what we are left with, 1 upon tan 2a, 1 upon tan a. That will be cot 2a, cot a. When I divide this term by this gets cancelled out and we are left with cot 3a, cot a. And when I divide this by this, then we are left with cot 3a, cot 2a. And when I divide right side by this, I get 1. So whenever you get the result of tan, this is how we obtain the result of cot. But one more important result of tan is, whenever it is written in a triangle ABC, or a plus b plus c is equal to n pi. This, whenever triangle AB, whenever it is written that in a triangle ABC, then what I get? A plus b plus c is equal to pi. But otherwise also, when this n belongs to integers, that means a plus b plus c is equal to pi, or a plus b plus c is equal to 2 pi, or a plus b plus c is equal to minus 3 pi, and so on. In that case, my result is, then tan of sum of these angles, tan A plus tan B plus tan C, is equal to their product, tan of their product. And similarly, as above, what we did, we write this 2, we write this 3, divide both the sides by tan A, tan B, and tan C. You obtain the result for cot. That is, if I divide this by, then tan A cancels out with tan A, we are left with cot B, cot C. This, when we divide this, we are left with tan A, tan C, and when I divide this by this, I have tan A, tan B, and equal to 1. So this is very important result. So you have to learn this result. And my question is, if they write in a triangle ABC, the minimum value tan A plus tan B plus tan C is. So in that case, what we do, we have to find minimum value. Therefore, we have to reuse the result of AGH. So if these are your three numbers, that means tan A, tan B, tan C are your three numbers. And from your result, you know that arithmetic mean of these three numbers is x plus y plus z upon 3, and geometric mean of these three numbers is tan A, tan B, tan C to the power 1 by 3. And what I do, I put the sign of greater than here. Now what we do here, now I take this to this side and this to this side. And from my earlier result, I know that their sum is equal to product, or their product is equal to sum. So I can do this here. I can replace this product by their sum. So what I get there, when I subtract their exponents, now we are left with this. That means tan A, tan B, tan C to the power 1 minus 1 by 3 is 2 by 3, and here I get 3. Now, okay, plus is here. So, but I need the value of tan A plus minimum value of tan A plus tan B plus tan C. So I just divide this power by 3 by 2. So what I get? When I multiply this by 3 by 2, this comes up to 1. And what we have to do? We write it like this. Now, what I get? That my minimum value is this. Or you can write this as 3 root 3 also. Okay. So using these two results, I can find out the answer. But there is a shortcut here, that whenever this is written that in a triangle ABC, then that triangle can be equilateral triangle, and you can obtain this answer from here also by putting A 60, angle B equal to 60, and angle C is equal to 60. So in that case, the answer comes out to be root 3 plus root 3 plus root 3, that is 3 root 3. So that is another shortcut. Whenever in a triangle ABC is written, you can solve that question on equilateral triangle also. So these are few results, and for more shortcuts, you just subscribe the channel Math Advice. Okay, see you next time.